Hello, everyone. This is Highlander from MTG Cardsmith doing another custom Magic the Gathering card review. And today we're looking at another card by Arceus for a set Euphoria. This is the Exile set, the set where we want to exile things. So let's see what we got here. We got Universal Fear. Excuse me, I burped. This thing was so scary that it made me burp. We got ourselves a mythic here. 6 mana, 6/6. Okay. 6 mana, 6/6 is fine. It's fine stats. But it doesn't make a mythic, it does not. So let's see what we got going on here. This is legendary, this creature. It's a nightmare. Pretty cool art. Let's see. When Universal Fear enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep, for each player, look at the top card of that player's library. You may exile that card face up or face down. If a nightmare card you own, I feel like I'm doing like Disney sing-alongs. If a nightmare card you own would leave exile, you may instead put it in your hand. Okay. So this card does nothing by itself, essentially. It does a little bit of bookkeeping, but you know, it doesn't really pay the bills, you know what I mean? So you better build around this card. Because otherwise you're just playing a 6 mana 6/6. Now, with some of the mechanics we've seen obviously seen a lot of payoff for having things exiled. So the fact that this guy, I'm gonna sort of take this one from a limited perspective. I know it's legendary, so you can play it in Commander, but this seems more like a limited card to me, or maybe constructed, you know, like a standard card. Though, you know, you need a lot on a 6 mana card for standard, so probably not that. So presuming that we're playing 1v1, this card's basically exiling 2 cards a turn. Well, yeah, 2 cards a turn, and including the turn it comes in, right? Now, again, it's hard to see. Okay, hold on. I have to check if this other card we looked at was a nightmare. It was. The Embodiment of Pain. I'm talking about this card. We reviewed this card already. So Embodiment of Pain is a nightmare. So I suppose if there's a lot of nightmares in the set, and I don't know how many there are, but if there are a lot of nightmares, and those nightmares have ways to get them out of exile, or you have other ways to get them out of exile, then this card would probably be pretty strong. So this card kind of has two benefits going on. One is that it exiles 2 cards a turn, which clearly the set cares about. Sip of my tea, thank you. But again, you still need ways to make use of those cards. So just having them exiled doesn't do anything. But there are plenty of ways, things in the set that care about exile. If a nightmare card you own would leave exile, you may instead put it in your hand. So it gives you some nice card advantage there. So you know your Embodiment of Pain you get to sort of reuse over and over again. Like I mentioned in the Embodiment of Pain video, by the way. Go me. It's really hard to judge how powerful this card is because, again, without playing the set and without seeing more cards, it's difficult to know like how much value you're getting out of this. Let me use my little pen. How much value you're getting out of this clause here, and how much value you're getting out of this clause. I mean, the second clause is obviously the strongest of the two, but you need to have a lot of nightmares, right? And I don't know how many nightmares are floating around the set. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. Are there some in blue? There's certainly some in black. We've seen one already. So measuring the power of this card is difficult. That being said, this one feels to me a little bit more like a rare than a mythic. You know, with usually mythics are like, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm burping over and over again. Usually mythics are like, okay, so this ability and 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 this ability. Oh, by the way, I'm a 1-mana 8/8. You know, that's like kind of how mythics tend to be. This guy's a 6-mana 6/6. So, but my 8s look like this. What even is that? It looks like a spoon. Yeah, this one looks a little bit more like a rare to me, but again, it's okay. So let me think about it this way. If this card said at the beginning of your when this enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, draw a card, would this be mythic? I don't think it would be, honestly. I think that would still be a rare. Just because of how expensive it is and the body is not amazing. I mean, 6/6 is big, but you're paying 6 mana for it. It better be big, right? So in order for this to be a mythic, it would basically have to be like, the value is also like very incremental. You don't really get value off of it until you untap with it, right? I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, who knows? There might be some free ways to get things out of your exile zone, but you know, all we really have to go by is the embodiment of pain that we saw, which you have to pay 3 mana to get it out of your exile zone. So, you know, you have to play this, you have to untap with it, and then you can maybe start getting value out of it. This doesn't seem quite like a mythic to me. I mean, as far as the design goes, it's a neat design, I think. You know, if it seemed to me, it seems very narrow, but you know, it could be a fun build around in a set for sure. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a fine card. Okay, let's see. How do we feel about the design? I mean, again, I don't see too many issues with this card other than the rarity. I think this is not a mythic, if you ask me. I think this is a rare. So I'll take a few points off for that, or not a few, but I'll take a point off for that. So, and yeah, I mean, I think I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. Again, it's a pretty good card design. I don't have too much more to say about this one, other than the things I've already said. You know, it's very difficult to judge the power level on cards like this one in particular. But yeah, I think this would be a fine rare and limited. Seems to me more like a it's not one that you would like slam. At least it seems. It doesn't seem like a slam dunk bomb to me, which is fine. Not every card needs to be a slam dunk bomb. I'm just, you know, kind of talking out loud. It's not going to win you the game on the spot, right? You got to have it. You got to have it in play for a while to get value out of this thing. So, yeah, I mean, 7 out of 10, I think, for Universal Fear. Fine little rare and limited, but probably wouldn't see much play outside of that, I would imagine. Yeah, cool card. Thank you guys for watching.